I do not know if you remember the man-o-war movement, but when we were growing up, we see things, millennials and their, and their childhood, but we do remember that we used to have a Boy Scout, Girls Guide. Well, if you're much younger, you even had the Brownies, and these were, well, I would not call them paramilitary, but it was supposed to instill discipline in young boys and girls. Now, if you were now much older, you had the MANOA, especially for those who were in the university. Now, when it was formed, it was a uniform paramilitary voluntary organization established to train youth, promote discipline, and encourage community service. I haven't heard of them in quite a while, and there have been questions as to, are they still in existence? Well, clearly they are, because if they're not, what will we be talking about? 3,000 volunteers. So to shed a little more light on how this could work, we're now being joined by Mr. Ayodele Ajayi, who is the Lagos State Commander of Man-O-War Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us on Sunrise Early this morning. You can speak to some of the misconceptions that we have had since Man-O-War, when I say went silent. What exactly happened? Why have you not been as prominent as you used to be when we were growing up?
Okay, good morning so much, and thank you for having me this morning. Man-O-War has actually been visible. We still operate in universities. We have quite a number of active membership across our federal and state schools in Nigeria. And also we still have some units operating in different secondary schools in Nigeria as well. And over the years also, Man-O-War personnel are usually deployed to the National Orientation Camp during the youth service, the 3 weeks orientation camp. So you have Man-O-Wars in all the orientation camps. They help the military in training the corps members, doing their obstacle training and morning jogging, morning exercise and all. So yes, we've been quite visible, maybe not prominent as now, but our operations have been consistent over the years.
Okay, well, at least if you say you've been visible, who am I to say you've not been visible? Maybe I'm the one that has not exactly been looking. I know, okay, like I can always add her voice to that as to whether or not she's been seeing you. But, I mean, here you are now, 3,000 of you, 3,000 volunteers. I do not know how many you are across the length and breadth of the country, but right now, the federal government is looking to employ your services or solicit your services in protecting school children. Is this a thing that you think, a plan that you think can work?
Oh yes. So because we've been in the schools environment for quite a while, we quite understand some of the challenges and some of the peculiarities within the school environment. So for example, I joined Man-O-War when I was in GSS 2, and I've grown through the ranks. And then growing up, I realized that one of the major problems in schools are students engaging in different vices, cultism, drug abuse, bullying, and so on. So we have a better understanding on how to manage these situations, because right from while we're in schools, we try to instill discipline in school. I remember while I was in secondary school doing our inter-house sport, the Man-O-War, actually the security guard in the school, whereby we do crowd control and then make sure students are in class doing learning, and then probably after the short break or the long break, we make sure that students are back into their classroom for learning. So we understand the peculiarity, and then we understand the dynamics of the school environment. So I think calling on us to take over this position, I think is not out of place. And then our training over the years also supports that, because we have the Citizenship and Leadership Training Center, which is our regulatory body, our mother body. We go there from time to time for regular training on discipline, citizenship, leadership, and crowd control management and all. So yeah, I think we are quite well equipped for that. And then we just concluded another 7 days training in Jos last week. I was in Jos also for the training, where we had all the 36 state commanders present with their men. During the camp, we had way over 5,000 participants in the training. So we had a lot of classroom training, on how to implement the strategy put together by the Safe School initiatives, and also some physical exercises. We did some mountain climbing, we did some forest training, and a lot of other trainings.
Let me quickly ask you, if because this is supposed to be a volunteering organization, and we know that, that's a culture that a lot of people are saying that Nigerians need to imbibe. How is it amongst, your organization these days? Are people thinking that perhaps a stipend of sorts needs to be paid? What exactly is, I know it's volunteering, but at least we all know that it's time being spent. Is it that there is no remuneration at all?
So Man O' War is voluntary in nature. However, when you're being deployed for several assignments, there's kind of a stipend or like a mobilization fee just to take care of your feeding, transportation, and maybe just to take care of basic needs, right? So we have some passionate young people that still believe in the spirit of volunteerism. Though in Nigeria generally everyone is trying to earn a living for him or herself, so no one wants to volunteer their time, their time. But we still have some young youth that are still passionate about the country. I'm a business professional, right, and I still volunteer as a Man O' War personnel in my spare time. However, when we deploy our men for assignment, we make sure that their welfare is being taken care of. We make sure that there's also a stipend to be paid. However, we have some that are being deployed fully with the government, like in Lagos State. I have some of my men with the Lagos State Task Force enforcement. They are on salary with the Lagos State. Some also are with Lamata, and then I have some also at the Lekki Epe corridor with the LCC. They are on full-time salary, and they work with the government. But at times when we need some volunteers to take out some, to take up some activities, we could also withdraw them and then make use of them and then deploy them back to their permanent base.
I need to understand how this is going to work. I need the details of how this is going to work. What exactly are you being asked to do with the Safe Schools initiative? And you can help me also clarify this. If it's volunteer work, which means it's not what you do full time, how does that work? Because keeping schools safe is a 24-hour job. It's something that has to be done constantly across the country. At least that was the thinking we had when the Safe School Initiative was created. So maybe give us an idea of what you've been told to do and how you're going to do it based on, the way your organization is structured.
Okay, so the Safe School program is not just limited to Man O' War. We have the NSCDC involved. We have the Nigerian police. But the major role of Man O' War is to train both the teachers, the students, and even the community members, because safe school is not just about keeping the school safe. There are also some informations that needs to be passed across. There are some training. So during the JOS training, we're able to highlight how to even pass information across, because getting information is not just enough. Passing it to the right channel and the right information getting to the right person is even more important than having the information. So the channel of communication and then the process also, how to gather information and how to purify the information and how to verify the information is part of what our personnel were trained about. So basically our role is to make sure that we are in the schools, to make sure the school is safe. We don't carry arms. We have the NSCDC and the Nigerian police that are arm bearing. So if there's any need for us to escalate, or if there's any need for us to pass some important message across to them for further escalation, we will do that. And then we've been trained on the communication channel and how to manage communication line within the community and even outside the community. Now, in terms of volunteering, we are volunteered by membership, but when you are being deployed, we have some people that are on full-time employment. Like I said, the men with the Lagos State Task Force and Lamata and all that, they are on full-time. They are being paid. They are on full-time jobs. So we have some people that are. So we are the administrators, most of the administrators are quite, I would say we are volunteers, right? But we have some members that join, and then after being deployed to probably to go serve or something, most of them are either on stipend or they are on full-time employment. So for the Safe School, the implementation of the Safe School, we will not be working alone. We'll be working with other security agencies that have been put in place for the Safe School implementation. Our role is just to make sure we are in the school to train and also to make sure that the school is safe. And then when we get information, and when we need any external force to come in, then we can escalate. Because according to global standard, right, arms are not meant to be in schools, because school is meant to be a learning environment. So students or the young ones are not meant to be seeing arms. So that's why they cannot just deploy armed men in schools. But man of war zones bear arms, so we could at least keep the school safe, be the first line of response, and if there's any situation that gets out of hand or we have intelligence, then we can then escalate to other security agencies and see how we could work together.
The national coordinator of the Safe School Initiative, Hajia Halima Ilya, she was talking about how they've started mapping out the schools, right? So you're a partner, she says. The man who is a partner in this mapping out. Do you have some kind of update on how much mapping has happened and when this is supposed to kick off? You know, and if your men are ready, all 3,000 of the man of war staff that are going to be deployed for these crucial assignments. How much mapping has gone on, and are your men ready?
Okay, yeah. So the mapping is being done across all the 774 local governments in Nigeria, and some schools. We are going to start with some schools. So, like here in Lagos State, we've divided the schools into different sections. So we're going to so we've highlighted some schools that are high rated, low, and then medium. So we start with the ones that are high rated, whereby men will be deployed there. And in terms of readiness, yes, we've been on this since about last year, but this year is where we are trying to kickstart, and we are hoping by when school resume in September, our men will be well deployed. So the training is a continuous training. It's an ongoing training. It's not just one-off. But the one we had in just last week was just to flag up the initial training. So we had most state commanders, regional commanders, and senior officers in that all. So we are also meant to go cascade it down to our different states and all the local governments, where we will still train more men that will be deployed. And then and even the even the community, people in the community, because securing the school is not just the school itself. The school exists in the community, so we're still going to engage community leaders, community members, to also let them know the role they also need to play, and then the teachers, both non-teaching, teaching and non-teaching staff. And then when the students also resume school, we're still going to engage the students as well. We'll have sort like security champions among the students as well, so that they also know what to do, and then they also know who to give information to, and they also know what to look out for while learning, so that they are not just taken unaware.
The training of the children too to be security conscious and aware is also something that you intend to take on. We wish you all the very best, and we wish ourselves too safer schools as your organization takes on this new challenge. Thank you very much for speaking with us this morning, Mr. Ayodele. Well, I see MC here. I don't know what that rank
That's
means.
Man of War Commander.
I believe it's a rank. Man of War Commander. I see Man of War Commander Ayodele Ajayi, who is a Lagos State Commander, Man of War, Nigeria. Thank you so much for speaking with us on Sunrise Daily.
Thank you.
Well, that's where we draw the curtains this morning. Kayla, it's very interesting. Just yesterday, this is on the side, I was looking through social media and I saw this man who was wearing his children a charm to fortify them, and it was giving them to school. I mean, the things that, you know, people that we say, sometimes you think it's a joke, but these are real concerns that people have, and we really do hope that our schools can become safer places for our children to go and learn. But that's why we draw the curtains on Sunrise Elite this morning. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Don't forget to join us at 1 o'clock for the signing of the Peace Accord Phase 1. Thank you for watching. I'm Malfa Ogun Yusuf.
Have a great day ahead. Business Mornings at the top of the hour.